shit on RPE every chance I get.
RPE.
The net result is lighter weights are being lifted. Now, are you also going to be a about it? Well, this feels right today. No, let's not do that.
The newest way to be a pussy that is called RPE.
So I see a lot of content hating on RPE or rate of perceived exertion, thinking it just means not training hard. The original method created by the GOAT Mike Tuchscherer was a way of measuring reps in reserve and allowing us to auto-regulate our training. On days we feel good, we can go heavier. On days we feel worse, we can go lighter. This can be a real powerful tool when used correctly, but most people don't. And it's not just noobs either. How many top-level powerlifters have you seen saying something was RP8 when it was a complete grind? Our emotions and our ego can get in the way of us being accurate. And on top of that, sometimes adjustments are worse for our training. Now let's go over the most common mistakes with RP and how to use it better. First off, we simply need to be accurate with our reps in reserve. This takes experience and also managing our emotions. It's been shown in studies that lifters are quite bad at estimating reps in reserve, and anecdotally coaching a lot of powerlifters, that fits. Now, simple experience does help, but I've even seen people who can squat in the 700s be way off. I see people tend to underestimate how hard their top sets are, again I think largely due to ego, or not judging a lift by the slowest range of motion, the real limiter. And then for our volume work, people tend to overestimate the RP. Like if they really try to do as many reps as possible, they'd have way more in the tank than they think. And this is exactly how I have people become more accurate with the RP. I have them try to do as many reps as possible, or are set to failure. This can obviously be fatiguing though, so keep that in mind. On squat, bench, and deadlift work, I wouldn't do it more than once per training cycle, once every few months. Now on our less fatiguing accessory work, we could even do every set to failure and be just fine. I do that for many of my clients. But I would say do at least one set per month to failure to calibrate your RPEs. It's especially important when we're trying to focus on hypertrophy that we're accurate with our proximity to failure. Now, the other part of being accurate with RPE is managing your emotions. I'm sure we all know an ego lifter, the type of person who always goes too heavy and says something was easy to make themselves feel stronger. And conversely, somebody who's allergic to effort. They can't try hard for the life of them. These tend to be the more anxious or neurotic lifters. Now, we need to be more emotionless in order to get accurate with our RPE. So we just need to read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius and master Stoicism. Okay, real talk, obviously managing emotions is easier said than done, something that could take up its own long video. The basic premise I find helps best is to be process rather than outcome oriented. We can't control outcomes perfectly, but we can, for the most part, control the process of trying to get there. We can lift hard, we can eat right, and we can sleep well. Focus on nailing the process rather than the outcome, and your emotions will be better regulated as you aren't focused on things outside of your control. Now that you're accurate when using RPE though, you still need to find what range to train at. Some people do better going harder, like my client Christian, and others are the exact opposite. They need more submaximal work. I put 42 pounds on my bench and hit my first ever 405-pound bench doing a 12-week training cycle, all under RPE 6. Now, a big part of this will just be trial and error. Try different RPE ranges and see what works for you. This heuristic by Mike Tuchscherer though is a good guide for adjustments. Obviously, we want to perform good. If we're feeling good, we're perfect. If we're feeling bad though, we want to be cautious, see if we aren't overworking ourselves still. If we perform bad, but we feel good, we feel recovered, we can up our workload. If we feel bad and we're performing bad, then we're probably overworking ourselves and we want to decrease the workload. Fine-tuning RPE to the perfect number is impossible as it's going to be in a constant state of flux, but you can get a good idea pretty quickly following this guideline. Now, the last thing to keep in mind when using RPE is to make sure we're not overcorrecting. Studies on auto-regulation tend to show no benefit. Now, obviously, I think a large part of that is just researchers may not design the best programs, but it does go to show that adjusting to how you feel isn't automatically going to lead to more gains. If we feel good, we could go too heavy and fatigue ourselves for next session. If we feel bad, we could go too light and underwork ourselves and be out of practice by next session. And I'm sure we've all had good workouts on days we felt bad and bad workouts on days we felt good. We don't want to psych ourselves out performance-wise before we even actually choose a load. So we need to compromise, adjust to how we feel, but not overcorrect. Give yourself a controlled range, a few percentage points, or a weight range. So in summary, we want to accurately measure reps in reserve with experience near failure and managing our emotions. We want to find RP ranges that work well for us and make sure we don't overcorrect when we do adjust. I hope this video helps you get more gains out of RPE. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, thanks for watching.